We're here at Saleen Motorsports in beautiful Corona, California, and we are lucky enough today to have an amazing tour of the Saleen compound. I think you'll find this pretty amazing, but we are going to get a tour with the man himself, Steve Saleen. So as a point, we've got a new issue of Power and Performance News coming up, so be tuned for that, but we're going right in here, okay? And as I promised, there he is himself. Hey, Steve, how are you today?
Very good, Cam.
Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a while, but it's good to...
It has, and welcome to Saleen.
Very good. Thanks for the opportunity. Can you give us a walk around?
Well, we certainly will. Obviously,
got the classic here, right?
This is our showroom.
Right.
A little bit of my personal racing history with some of the race cars over the years that I've driven, from Formula cars in the Trans Am and the sports car racing, and then our Science of Speed wall, which is really dedicated primarily to the S7 activities.
Well, you're building some of those right here today, right?
Yeah, we have in one of our other buildings here on the campus. We are in the process of building 7 more S7s as special Le Mans editions from winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans a few years ago.
What year was that again?
That was in 2010.
Nice.
So
very nice.
Actually 7 years ago.
Impressive.
But,
you got quite the beautiful facility here.
And it's we're on the campus is actually on 4 acres, and we have 3 different separate buildings. One dedicated to our technologies, which is our engineering and design building. Another one that we're putting in is our what we call our speed lab and color lab, where we do the painting and that facility. And then we're here in the main administrative, our showroom, and we'll go out into our production area where we're currently building Mustangs.
Excellent.
And what we have here on the floor is actually one of our examples of a 1988. This we've been doing this since 1984, and this was our Fox Body days, of which obviously you were dating.
I remember well.
We're dating both of ourselves,
That's
but
it.
yes, we both started, I think, in this business when we were 3.
Yes.
So we had a very good opportunity to get a good perspective of how things have evolved.
Yes,
but,
amazing.
This is a good example of
great car.
Of our earlier years with the Fox Body Mustang.
These have become quite valuable, if I remember correctly. Now I'm watching people start to collect them.
Jackson and all of this. In fact, one of the first few cars in 1984 have been offered $500,000.
Wow.
For 3 of the Fox bodies. So
that's amazing.
Gives you an idea on a car that I think new costs less than $10,000.
Wow.
So
good return on your investment,
well, yeah, but you only have to wait for what 34 years.
Good point.
But it still has come kind of full circle.
That's terrific.
But we're here to talk about new stuff.
There you go. So we got some new stuff in the back here.
Why don't we go out to our production?
All right.
What you see here is our production. We will start on the Mustangs from a lot of perspectives. We start with a perfectly good car and completely tear it down to it, literally its base chassis.
Yes.
And then if it gets a full paint job, even the window glass comes out of it.
Wow.
All wiring looms and everything.
Nice.
And we kind of reconstruct the whole vehicle into building it into a very high performance vehicle.
So somebody can actually order the color they want. It's not just a set Saleen graphic package, or is that?
We offer. We have the standard colors that Ford Motor Company on the Mustangs offer.
Sure.
But in addition to that, we offer 13 special Saleen colors with a unique formulation that we have done with BASF.
Nice.
And the colors really are quite vivid and quite unique. And they all have different personalities depending on what you're looking for as owner.
What's this gallery on the left here? Is this?
As we walk over to the new cars, this actually is some of the movie posters over the years of our cars that have been in a lot of the major Hollywood movies. Everything from Rocky, I don't know if that was Rocky 25 or number 26.
There you go.
I'm doing it. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Right.
We have a personal memory here with Bruce Almighty.
My favorite
Is because you remember he gets the Bruce there, or Jim Carrey gets the almighty powers, and he converts his beat-up Nissan into a Saleen S7.
There you go.
And so that's a lot of fun. We did a lot of people don't know is that in Transformers, the Saleen Mustang was the leader of the Decepticons as the police vehicle. But we also built from ground up, we actually built the Bumblebee, the Camaro.
Really?
In the first one too, and we did that at my facility back in Detroit. So we actually helped put the Transformers cars on the...
That was the late model Camaro?
Yeah, that was the first new Camaro of this generation, because it was so new that they had only one at Detroit Auto Show.
Right.
And then when they decided that they would shoot the movie, they needed some running cars. So we actually took some Pontiac GTOs at the time, tore the body off.
Oh, the Australian version. Oh, the Australian version?
They were chopped and channeled. No, they were the U.S. version.
They were, okay.
Yeah. And chopped and channeled it, cut the exterior body, interior panels, and even said, hey, it should be a bright color. How about yellow? And that worked. And
there you go.
The rest is kind of history with that.
Nice.
And you have Red Line with a movie that featured the S7. Iron Man, if you go back in Iron Man in his garage, wouldn't have been complete without having
I remember
an
that.
S7.
Sure. I love how they put it into the movie poster for you. That was really nicely done.
But we don't miss any detail.
That was perfect.
Varsity Blues was one of our first cars with the early one.
Right.
This featured actually was the first one of the major roles that Paul Walker actually starred in.
Who was a personal friend of yours, right?
Paul and Roger Lotus was riding the car when they had the terrible accident.
Right, yeah, because he was like right in there in the credits. There we go. That was his first movie,
yeah.
How fortuitous.
And obviously Fast and Furious, we did in
there you go.
Those.
Very good. So what can we take a peek at? You got obviously
over here we have a couple cars that are done.
Yeah. Just recently we announced that this works out to be our 30th anniversary of our first
championship we won with the Saleen Mustang.
Right.
And in honor of that, we decided that we were doing 30 special edition vehicles.
Nice.
And in a similar graphic, yellow, white, and black have always been kind of a racing graphic.
Right.
And what we have here is a very special edition, one of the first that we have done, commemorating our 30th anniversary of the championship.
With Rick Titus?
Yes, it was. We actually had quite a different team in that respect. Is that Rick Titus and I were teamed up in the one car. I had an all-girls car with Desiree Wilson, the only female to win a Formula One race, and Lisa Casera, who was a Bondurant instructor and a Hollywood stunt driver at the time.
Nice.
And then I paired it with a third car where I brought a couple guys out of somewhat retirement, and that was Parnelli Jones and George Fulmer, and they drove the third car here because I needed a lot more cars to get more points against primarily the Porsche team that year, so we could win the championship.
And that worked out, didn't it?
And it all came down to the last race, to the last lap. In our case, it was actually the last corner where we actually won the race in the last corner over Porsche.
Wow.
And that happened to be on Halloween night in 1987 at Sebring, Florida.
Right. Which was what, 20 years after Jerry Titus had won that?
Yeah, and from Rick's standpoint, obviously you know your history quite well, Tim.
I know Jerry. I know Rick. I know Rick.
But it was 20 years after his dad won a similar type of championship as well. So there was a lot of nostalgia as well as a lot of new that kind of repeated itself. So
amazing.
Here today we have
the graphics.
We have our anniversary. And
this is quite different than a standard Mustang. I will say in our case here, the only thing that isn't changed on it is that the door panels and the quarter panels and the windshield and the glass is the only thing that really remains with the car.
Wow.
Starting is we concentrate heavily on aerodynamics, and on that is we have taken about 4.5, 5 inches of frontal area out of the Mustang.
Wow.
by bringing it down, which allows us to run a big carbon fiber splitter, which gives us a lot more downforce on doing it. But all of the front end has been totally changed. We have new on this model. We've come out with new front fenders. This has the air extracts out of the wheel well.
Got it.
You can see
So you
on
see
the
that
side
guy.
here.
So those are
The,
functional, right? Is that a functional look?
Yeah, that's very fun. Everything we do is functional.
Nice.
I can say that.
It's
And
a good
then
thing to have.
We have the carbon
Right.
side skirts all the way back to the scooter. And has even a carbon exhaust. And if you look closely here, we have a Formula One style rear rain light. When you put it in reverse, it ends up being a reverse light that lights up, and it's pretty cool at night.
So you have it in addition to the.
We've extended the car both
Okay.
in the front and the rear. We have extended the rear, which gives us a bigger for our rear wing,
Yeah.
and and you can see a full functional diffuser again with some reliefs coming out of the rear fender and the rear fascia.
Another functional piece there. Very cool.
It is.
How much longer is the car with that?
With the front and the rear, it's about, I think it's about roughly 2.5 inches longer than
Okay.
a normal Mustang.
Nice.
Which again gives us a little better aerodynamic, which is what we're trying to achieve with
Right.
this. And
That spoiler is very nice. That's a cool spoiler.
Interior-wise,
Yeah.
it comes with special seating, special instrument cluster, our twin gauge cluster, short throw shifter, special floor mats. Really everything in the interior has really been reworked and changed. I'm doing that to commemorate the special
Nice.
edition.
Nice.
Then into the what I'll call the meat and potatoes is the suspension. The suspension has now, I brought back our racecraft suspension, and this has everything from K-member to
Okay.
different bushings, different sway bars. This has coil-over struts and shocks
Nice.
on this,
Yeah.
so I can adjust it.
Completely adjustable.
Up
Okay.
and down, and also bump and rebound.
Nice.
On the shock absorber. We have introduced for the first time our new brake system with the feature here that we're looking at now is humongous rear brakes and 6-piston caliber on this. This is the first time that I think anybody that you will have seen that level of setup
So
on
is
the
it
rear
cross-drilled?
of this car. Cross-drilled and slotted
Nice.
for them.
How big are the wheels?
The wheels are 9.5 fronts
Yeah.
and 10.5 rears,
Wow.
and our own wheels as
Yeah.
well as, and going back to 30 years, I'm really pleased to announce our revived partnership with General Tire.
Nice.
General Tire is getting back into the performance tire business. Back in 1987, that was one of the things we did with
Yeah.
the racing activities and in introducing General Tire. And here we are now 30 years later,
Nice.
kind of going through the same thing. And I'm very happy. I
Yeah.
will tell you the tires work unbelievably good.
Nice.
I had the opportunity to give rides to a lot of people up in the Seattle area, which is where we introduced it
Nice.
a couple weeks ago, around the racetrack, and nothing could stick with us on the track.
So these are 20s here,
And
20
20 in the front.
20.
as well.
So it's right. Wow, that's a big piece of tire.
Yeah, so we are putting a lot of, there's a lot of grip
Right.
on this vehicle. But probably what most people want to know,
Yeah.
what's under the hood,
You bet.
right? And so in that case, we went for the road gas, and that is, as a lot of our vehicles
gotcha.
are
Yeah.
supercharged. But we didn't just do our standard supercharge here. This is a 3.2 liter
Right.
intercooled supercharger that's supplied to us by Kenny Bell,
Yeah.
and all I can tell you is that it puts out a lot of horsepower. We're making both a track version and a street version. In the street version, it's easily 730.
730.
Yes,
Okay.
and in the track version, it's 750.
Wow.
And if you live in an area where you can even get better gas than Southern California, which would be 91 octane.
Yeah. Anything is better than
You
here.
could expect to
You can
maybe
turn it
even,
up.
Yeah, even do better than that once you've received the car.
Wow. Car looks great.
And we've added a lot of unique reservoirs with special caps and
Yeah.
some filling details in this, to where we feel that
Nice.
we really haven't left out anything on this car.
And I understand it's 50 state legal.
Yes, and you can buy it through the Ford dealers, our Saleen
Nice.
special Ford dealers.
Nice.
And probably the most outstanding is the price. The price for the car, whether
Yeah.
it's a track or the street,
Drum roll.
is only $87,000.
Okay. Very
and,
good.
and that goes with us winning the championship in 1987.
Right.
But I will tell you that you would be hard pressed. In fact, it would be impossible for anybody to find a better value
Right.
than what we're offering at the horsepower level,
Right.
with all of the stuff, with a high resale value after the fact,
You bet.
which we just went through earlier with our cars from the 80s at a price point at doing that. To put that in a little different perspective, our track car, which is again is the same price, it comes with the competition wing and,
Right.
no rear seat in it, is basically has more horsepower than the Porsche GT2
Nice.
RS, but the Porsche costs $298,000.
Right.
So for our price, the whole family could own 4 of these,
That's-
plus a white label Saleen Mustang for literally the same price.
Impressive. Impressive. That's great. So what do we have here next door? What is this?
This is our black label. This is the base car for this, which is again has basically everything that you had, except it's not commemorative
Right.
on this. This has the supercharger on this is a 2.8, but it still will put out, depending on the gas that you put out, 730 horsepower.
Wow.
As well. And this is in its obviously basic black trim, going through all the changes so that we just went
Beautiful.
through over here.
Beautiful shape. Gosh, that is just a gorgeous car. How much wider are the fenders?
We didn't widen the
I
fenders.
thought you put the carbon fiber in.
See, this has
the front, yes,
this
I see
does
it.
not, and this does. So we've widened it about, as you can see, it roughly is about 1.5 inches.
Right. Okay. There we go.
Per side.
That's what I was going for.
And that's
Okay.
that gives you a good perspective.
Yeah. No kidding.
Again, aero is very important, and
You bet.
we spent a lot of time with CFD and coast down testing, and
CFD meaning.
the computer fluid dynamics,
Okay.
and the computer, and in understanding how the air has to flow, why you see like how the wing is
Sure.
shaped, how it comes down, how I put this this other edge in it.
Right.
While you see this minor detail in the wing on this, all of that is in there not for cosmetic, are all functional. And we spend a lot of time in looking at the details
Right.
that really make a difference on this. So everything that you see that we change is done for a very specific purpose. So we try to make it into a nice looking package as
Yeah,
well.
it's beautiful. That is a gorgeous car. And subtle, you know, just things that you've done to it are really, really simple. That is a beautiful car.
They look simple.
They look
it's actually
simple.
a major change, but
And that's the beauty
but
of
it
it.
is. But it looks very integrated
Yeah.
to where I've always taken pleasure, I think, over the years,
Right.
where you really can't tell where Ford stopped and we began.
Well, that's an amazing feat. Same cluster.
Yeah, very similar type of cluster, except the badging is different.
Right.
This does not have the short throw shifter in it, and doesn't have the same upholstery is done differently with the seating.
We picked a lovely day to walk around outside, didn't we, though?
It is
Southern California
yeah,
toasty.
in Southern California, there's 2 days a year, I guess, that we actually have thunder showers. So we picked
the
one of
new
the
days.
days.
There we go. Very good. Can you show me your race car over there?
We can.
Is that top secret, or can we?
Oh no, we're still. We've had this out on the track. This is some of our past history
Right.
that you see with the cars. So this is the race edition that shows the major differences is the competition rear wing.
Okay.
This has a much heavier suspension modifications
Sure.
to it. Well, again, it's our extended off of our racecraft suspension.
Right. It's your design suspension, then, right?
Yes, all the componentry, all
Okay.
of the traction bars, the strength in the K-member, strengthening bar that goes into it.
Nice.
There is a lot that you don't see
Right.
that's under here. Oh, the other thing that I didn't mention is that we also have a brand new exhaust system. It actually uses no mufflers. It's all through resonators.
Wow.
And that gives us a much better power band.
Nice.
It's instant throughout, both on tip in and through the actual power band of the engine. But yet you can still very much drive it on the street.
Nice.
But it has a very unique sound to it. And so if you want to have a vehicle that has a very unique sound
Yeah.
to it, having the
This is
Saleen
it.
Mustang will give you a whole different level of sound.
Can we fire one of those
We
up
will.
at
We
the
will.
conclusion? The cliffhanger here on the whole tour. There we go.
And then in the interior wise, we have is the racing style seats,
Yeah.
complete with roll cage in the back without any rear seats for lighter weight.
Got your gauge pod up top there.
Yes.
Is that a race only piece?
Pardon?
Is that the race level only, or is that?
No, it's both on the street and the race.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it in the
identical,
original.
Except this has more of the racing style seat
Right.
with your roll bar and with rear seat delete.
Very cool. Try not to fall over. That'd make for an interesting video, wouldn't it? Nice. So, similar kind of wheel package here?
Yes, again, it's identical on the wheels and tires,
Nice.
and with the big brakes.
Impressive. What's under the hood on this one? Is this
It's
is
the
a-
same, except
same
that
setup, but
except that it has the same supercharger,
Right.
except it has a
Extra
little bit more horsepower depending on.
Another 20 on top,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah.
Very nice.
Why don't we go over and we'll fire this up?
That'd be great. appreciate the tour. Anything we missed so far? Or?
I think we covered everything.
Right. What do you read for a magazine?
Other than in my new favorite magazine.
That's right. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. There it is. That you'll see more of our articles and more of all the best articles in the
Power and Performance there. That's great. Well, I appreciate it very much. Well, Steve, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Very good. You take
Cam,
care.
It's nice seeing you.
Absolutely. Sorry for the sweaty hand there.
Next time we'll go for a
drive.
test drive now.
Excellent. Thank you.
Very good.
Take care.
Bye.